Hello, chat. It's been 4 months. I'm completely out of it. But I was like, come on, let's go live again. I wanna give it another try. And why the hell not, right? Here I am, back in the business. Great things are waiting for us. I got good shit planned. Good shit planned. I pray I don't get stream sniped my first game. I was thinking about doing 30 seconds delay, but I did not, right? Did I? Did I? No. I'm risking it. Risk the business. Time for the grind, baby. Oh yeah! Oh nine, Viego. I hate Viego. I think doable. Okay, I gotta lock the fuck in. I have to lock the fuck in, even if I'm live right now. Hello, everybody. I'm back. I have to log in right now. Not just in-game, also Twitch-wise. I've been busy real life. I've been busy. I'm gonna try to be more active right now. I got projects planned, gaming projects. Valheim 1.0 releasing soon. Going to play that. Also, Dayraria 3.0. I will host that event, that beautiful event, really soon. Actually, I'm really down for that. And I wanna grind League of Legends and Rocket League. I have to see how League of Legends turns out on stream, because apparently there's lots of stream snipers. So I gotta see how that goes. But right now we're hopping in. Kinda weird to be live, I gotta be honest. I'm being honest. I am excited to find out, to see which names I'm gonna see in my chat from the old days. One name I obviously have in my head is Jay, Lios, Rock2, Danas, Error a few times, and a few others, of course. I gotta get into it again. It's gonna take a while though. It's gonna take a while. And I'm really praying I'm not getting stream sniped. My first ever League of Legends game. Please don't stream snipe me. Please. I'm gonna get so stream sniped. Okay. I think somebody's PC crashed when he tried to open my Twitch stream. We are stuck. So guys, content that I have planned is League of Legends, Rocket League. These should be my main games. We have the events planned that I just mentioned. And right now we still have Sons of the Forest with Liars collab. I see if I will continue that or not. We have to see it in the coming days. I want to do daily streams again. It's super fun. I've been doing this shit since 2014. I'm slacking recently, but I'm getting back to it.
I can hear it. Enemy footsteps, fast beating hearts.
Game is quite loud, no? Make it 15.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
Welcome. If anyone is sneak sniping me, don't sneak snipe, man. It's my first game.
Minions have spawned. So easily shed. Aid me.
Were I full AD? In moments like these, I wonder if I should go AAP or if I also just go AD. Because Shyvana can go both. They have one AP, but question is, are they gonna build any armor?
Do I hunt alone?
I need my crab.
First blood. Do not fear the blaze within. Master it. I could eat you, but I won't. That is called restraint.
I'm not going. Okay. So. Soon, Dana. Soon I am back. Yo, bro. I'm the fuck locked in, Danas. How are you, bro? Wait, he's going full tank. Okay. Well, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Just wonder if I go AP or AD. That's something I have to learn.
the powerless.
Get the fuck back, man. Don't die there. Get the hell back. Playing this game on stream is super weird. Rocked you, no way you're here. Hello, rocked you after 3 months. Ah, yes, I remember. I promised to go live after my Budapest vacation, right? Did I go live actually? I don't think so, right? It's been 3 months. Bro.
Mine is not wild rage. It is focused. Sharp.
Guys, I need tap here, I need tap. We win this. We win this. If my bot lane comes with me, we win this! I don't give a fuck. Ah, this team sucks. I can see it already.
So must I.
And what happened? Real life happened, bro. Real life happened. Lots of stress. I'm not really in the groove anymore in terms of content creation. I'm doing this shit since 2014. And yeah, private shit. But I'm doing okay, bro. I'm doing okay. Real life is always the blocker, bro. It's for real, like. It's always real life, right? Let me hit level 60 quick.
An ally has been slain. Now get their boss.
I'm gonna risk it. I don't give a fuck. Thanos, where's Viego? Do you know where Viego is? My enemy jungler? Huge. Huge! Ah, get back. Get back. Let them waste their time. Let them waste their time. Bro, I just... Okay. Okay, good start, baby. Rocky, how are you, brother? I'm actually astonished that people join my stream after 4 months of being inactive. I don't know if I'm that special. I don't know. It's actually crazy thing about it.
To be quenched, but tender. Unleashed.
I expected not a single soul to be chatting here right now. Also, bro, I'm extremely nervous, okay? I'm extremely nervous. So, forgive me, brother. Okay, I have my ultimate ready. I'm coming. What the fuck? fuck is this ultimate, bro? Oh, what the hell is this ultimate? That's such a dog ass ultimate, to be honest, bro. Just being invisible. How cool is that ultimate, bro? Really special. God mode ultimate, really cool. Forget about this.
Let my name be forgotten if the world I burn for lives up.
Oops.
My claws grow dull without
Yeah, Jay, are you gonna type something? Wait, you actually did. Lol. Yeah, hello, Jay. My social anxiety is currently kicking in like crazy. I can't really bloom right now, but welcome in.
these horns should not hide.
And I'm locked the fuck in right now.
The skies make for stronger wings. Unleash the dragon.
Wait, if he comes, he's dead. He's dead. Nice. Oh, he's dead. What the fuck is this guy doing?
You were warned.
Okay, he's somewhere here, I know that, right? Oh no. Oh my god. Well made, well made, well made. Yeah, yeah. Keep feeding, brother. Jay, how are you doing?
Someday I will join you, Father.
I'm kind of nervous.
Not
That's what I'm doing. I'm trying to have fun here. I really gotta lock the fuck in. I feel like I have to carry this game. By the way, chat, the Elo comment says I'm silver, but my hidden MMR is apparently around platinum. It's crazy. Crazy shit's happening. Yeah, can you please give me some vision there? Oh, nice. He's not even doing a drain? I'm definitely doing this. Hello? Okay, let's fight this now. I'm gonna fight this. Let me get my Drang farm real quick and then I can go crazy here. They're all coming for me. I have to do this. What? Man, what is that shit? What was that? Second Drang in it. Now get back, get back, get back, get back, get back. I got a Drang, it's good. We have the Drang, baby. Second Drang in the book.
Demacia is the home I have chosen,
In the bag.
and I hope that someday it will feel.
Okay, Jay, I'm starting to lock in again. Yeah, 5 ganks. So, like, you should know he's gonna gank you again, brother. There's no fucking way you're not playing a bit defensive here. It's just... I can't help you. I can't help you.
So easy. I've waited long enough.
I know he's gonna ultimate here, right? Okay, nice, 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 nice. Come with me, come with me. Ah, man, I tried. I tried something. Yeah, I'm not gonna gank top again. I don't know how to kill this champion. Let me stick to mid.
Your turret has been destroyed.
This was good. Now it is personal.
This is one of the games where you get all the objectives. And you still die because your teammates they let them gank 6 times, brother.
Test my temper.
Get me out of here. Get me into my true platinum rank. Please. Wish me luck, Jay. I have to try it now. I gotta carry.
Do I hunt alone?
And don't have an ultimate up. I can't do shit.
For those worth protecting.
I just don't die here, bro.
An enemy is caught.
Okay.
Not fear the blaze within. Master it.
Nice.
Your team has destroyed a turret.
Bro, attack Vega, brother! Attack Vega! There you go. Kill him. What the hell I'm watching, bro?
Demacians fear honor, duty, courage. That is a creed I will fight.
By the way, Rock2, don't be afraid. I will still do BD6 content because that's a game. It's just. What the f. Okay, bro. Okay, help me here. Fuck him up. Don't let him get away with this! Don't have my ultimate up. Dangerous. Huh? What?
An ally has been slain.
Brother, I don't fucking know what's happening, bro. I'm triggered. I'm triggered. I think if we fight here, we win.
Has been destroyed.
Like, let him run away, bro. Let him run away. Just zone him. Help me here. Banners, I need it, bro. I need some people with brain in my team.
Enemy killing spree. Shut down.
I need you, Dallas. Imagine Dallas in this. Bro, I have no ultimate, I have nothing.
Ally has been slain. Your team has destroyed a turret.
Fucking knew it, bro. Get fucked now. Oh, really nice. Really nice, really cool, really nice. I feel like I'm getting stream snipe. This is really unusual. This is really unusual stuff right now. Ah. Brother, the fact that he maybe they had a control whatever, this is still really unusual. Maybe I'll just get a trial lobby right now. We have no crowd control, it really sucks. Oh no, is he gonna... What the hell, brother? Yeah. Bro, this... I have to look something up. I have to look something up. I have to look something up. Let's see. Live game. Let's see. Ah, yes. Ah, yes. Ah, yes. My enemy jungler. No rank. Private name. Everything private. It's cooked on us. It's cooked. It's absolutely cooked. It is absolutely cookerino.
Our enemy perseveres. So must I. Time to spread my wings.
Ah, this is over.
One breath, and this world could burn. Mine is not an animal's wild rage. It is focused, sharp.
Your turret has been destroyed.
Oh no, they're all here. Kill him, kill him, kill him, kill him, kill him. One for one, one for one. No, he's getting all of this. Nice, at least that. They came to the drain, this is good. Donas, I need you in my top lane. I need you in my top lane. I need you in my top lane. If I played it, I don't think I would be much better. Well, true. I mean, everybody starts high, right? I see you in a... in top lane, bro. Ah, this is so well, by the way. Can we kill him? I am, look our... Oh, of course, yes, it's my fault. Yes, right, yeah, true. Ah, yeah, it's definitely my fault that you fed the enemy jungler 5 times in a row at bot lane. It's... wise words. Really, really wise man. Wise player. The typical... Silver Elo League of Legends player. But we can't fight here. They're all here. Can I buy something? Yes. Okay. Nice, nice, nice. Okay, it's good, it's good. Come on, fuck him up, brother, fuck him up. Yes, yeah, yeah. Bro, what does top laner do? Yeah, I don't know, bro. Basically, the goal is to destroy the towers in every lane, you know. And then this is the end goal: destroy this thing, and then you win. So you have to go like this, meow, all the way here, fight the enemy, top laner, win, destroy tower, blah blah blah. Get all the way here, and yeah, it's basically how the game works. Top laner is solo lane. Top laner is really, really lonely, actually. Bot lane is together, mid lane is alone, jungle is alone, top lane is alone. And yeah, as I said, top lane is really, how do you say it in English? Yeah, they do their own shit pretty much. But what I know is they can go to level 20 if I'm not wrong. Everybody else can go to level 18. So you have you're really isolated, yeah? Right? You have the possibility, if you really want to carry the game, to absolutely go crazy. Oh, you don't kill me here. What the fuck do you think, mate? What the fuck do you think, mate? Yeah, I'm not dying. Oh, man, it's dying though. Wow, this guy's one-hitting me! What is Heartbreaker? Basically what he can do, this is why I hate Viego, Donos. He can steal other champions' ultimates, and look at this ultimate. It did 1800 damage. It one-hit me, brother. Yeah, I'm not gonna honor him. Okay, let's forget about this one. Let's see, who was this Viego? I'm interested. The Viego was... Yeah, nothing crazy. I could have been stream sniped on us. Let's say it like this. That's my excuse right now every time I die. Well, you asked me what it does on us. I'm pretty sure you're not gonna enjoy this game. Jay doesn't enjoy this game. Liars is not really into this. I don't think it's your vibe. I think you tried it, no? Yeah, I wanna ban Timu. Wait, no, should I ban him now? Timu is really annoying as well, but against Shyvana, I think it's fine. When I play Warwick, I'm gonna ban him. Yeah, I banned Trinder, man. That was fucking annoying. I can't believe what just happened there.
As you wish.
Yeah, exactly right. PUBG. PUBG. MUBG. YOLO.
My fury rises.
Dinosaur, you, my brother. I see you live as well. How is your Twitch going? Are you blowing up? Are you blowing up? My sleep schedule is absolutely fucked. I sleep at 5 a.m. How's yours? Also 5 a.m. Like, bro. I have to fix it. Is this the same team? Lol.
As you wish.
Kaiser. I know that Warwick might work against her. Shyvana should do the job as well. Oh, this is actually really nice.
My fury rises.
Yeah, right. Good take, Dennis. I love that. Pantheon and Rel. Wait. Pantheon top? Do you get panic attacks from watching this today? You're so done with this game, no? Honestly, I got pretty fucked my first ever game just now on stream. Miserable. And a bit sus. I believe when I play after 30 more games, let's say 50, I'm actually at my true rank. And then it's gonna be more, I'm not gonna get fucked, like literally 4 levels behind. It's not gonna happen. This is rare. Rare occasion. 4 levels behind is absolutely crazy. Unplayable. Well, we have to admit that the bot lane feared the enemy jungler 4 times in a row. Which really sucked, but it is what it is. Danas, you wanna do some collab, bro? Okay, I have good hopes. This is seems good. I don't like Smolder. I don't like that champion. But other than that, I like it. I'm not really a big fan of Smolder. I don't really think he's that super useful. Usually when I see him, they suck. The player. Mordekaiser's cool. Really OP. Good support. Overpowered. Okay. Okay. Oh, it's playable. It's definitely playable. I'm scared of the Smolder though. Smolders usually suck in my lobbies.
I fear nothing, except perhaps idle conversation.
Da 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 da.
Instinct begs me to strike.
I'll be down, but I don't know what. I was thinking about trying Elden Ring again. Do a little trio or quadro playthrough if Billy wants to join that. I'm down for that. I was actually thinking about it today. Because bro, we quit after the fucking first boss. I got depressive there. Actually, we didn't even beat the first boss. Right? We beat the big ass troll, that's what we did.
Tempered by my father's heart.
My city, my city.
First blood. An enemy has been slain. An enemy has been slain.
Stormy skies make a stronger wind.
An ally has been slain. An enemy has been slain.
Oh, he's getting a kill. I have good hopes now of our Smolder. Good hopes.
Fire isn't always the solution, but it is an effective.
Is the stream lagging, Jay?
Demacians speak of honor, duty.
My city, my city.
That is a creed
Diana's bot lane. Don't let her get here. Here. I want that crab. Wait, no, don't fight her, don't fight her, I'm taking a grab. Don't fight, I'm taking a grab. Ah.
is not so easily shared.
Stop question marking me, you no big time. Up to a crazy start, my dear viewers of this beautiful live stream.
Own these lands from shore to shore.
After a good start. I could try learning it on keyboard, but man, the game was perfect with a controller. Can you play multiplayer with controller? Like, actually forgot. What are you doing? Nice, she entered. Good. Get back. Don't be greedy. She could have went there. But I fucked her. Can you play Elden Ring with controller? The multiplayer version. The co-op modded sheet version. I need vision here. Now there's no way he's doing it wrong, right? Wait, you actually can? I'm kind of tempted to try it. Because with keyboard it kind of sucked. Did I play with keyboard? I think so. I play all my games with keyboard. It felt unplayable. Yeah, I want to hit level 6 real quick. I need help here. Bro, if he's running his rank right now and they don't give me vision, I'm gonna be mad. Okay, they're not. Alright, level 6, baby! Let me fuck her real quick. It's her end! What? Let me keep the dragon form! Yeah! Keep it the rank form! 9999! Ah, rip. Alright, that's good to know. I'm going top anyways right now, so if he uses ultimate, we're killing him. I have high hopes. And the void grubs, they just spawned right now. If I make it fast, I can even take this shit. Is he gonna hit? What? 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 This is so weird! This never happens off stream! It's whatever. Liars! Hello! How are you, bro? Nah, I have to. I think I'm gonna enable a delay after this game. It's just weird. I don't think it's this is not happening usually. I'm 100% sure.
I gave the prince my word.
Like, she's here fighting her, and she is randomly going up her And all of this is gone right now. This is never happening.
There is more to me than fangs and scales. Let my name be forgotten. The world I yearn for lives on.
Where's she?
Has been slain.
I got it. Yeah. Why did you question mark me, bro? Why did you question mark me, brother?
Loyalty to a cause is not service.
I'm good, guys. Thank you. I'm a bit mad because my mates recently kind of suck when I'm on stream. But other than that, it's fun.
They shall hear me roar. Mine is not an animal's wild rage. It is focused.
How was your stream, bro? What did you guys do? Any cool games you played? Ooh, 10 seconds. I could try something. I wanna try. Come here.
An ally has been slain. An enemy has been slain.
Why is he not taking his jungle shit?
Power me
I'm confused.
by abandon.
Is he riding for a drain? He's probably here somewhere. Oh. Nice. Go with it. Go with it. Da 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 da. Do you wanna fight me?
Rampage.
Okay, I definitely need help from bot lane here. If I don't get help, we might be fucked. 10 seconds.
An enemy has been slain.
Nice. Nice, 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 nice.
Idle conversation.
What is Eclipse 1? What is that? Or push the shit, they're all top lane. Oh no. He said about it.
Enemy double kill.
It's always the blade.
Double kill.
Yeah, it's time for Rocket League after this.
Your turret has been destroyed.
Okay, I had no items. I had no items. It's okay. It's okay.
This was duty. Now it is personal.
The fact that this person just placed a ward there tells me that I'm out of this. That this is out of my league.
Make for strong
Like, brother, what the hell? That's something I've never used once in my life in this game. I have no ultimate up, I can't help.
Enemy killing spree.
Alright, we're pushing this now. We're pushing this.
Your turret has been destroyed. Enemy killing spree. Your team has destroyed a turret.
fire isn't always the solution.
Can I get some help? Where's Diana? Where's Diana? Where's Diana? Dude, I'm getting all the objectives. Come on, we have to win this one. Come on, we have to win this one, baby.
Your turret has been Your turret has been destroyed. Enemy rampage. An enemy
What the hell is happening there?
has been slain.
Where's she?
An enemy
What?
Back to
Your team has destroyed a turret.
No name again! No name again! Bro! What are those lobbies when I'm live? Come on! Get me those sucker lobbies from this morning. Nah, brother! You can't do this to me, bro. That's crazy. He's not gonna die. I think you're doing a dragon, no? Wait. She showed. It was good. It was really good for us. Yo, don't let me die here. Brother, 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 brother. Yeah! She get the whole team. Oh, it's just funny. That is funny, bro. Oh, that's good. It's just a Smurf, bro. Can't do shit, mate. Gotta lock in. Alright, what I'm gonna try is now is going. I'm gonna scale the heck out of this and place my thing somewhere. There's also one thing I have to learn, like, where do you place Eye of Herald? Like, when and where? If anyone, if any Giant is in chat right now, I would love to know that, actually. Like, where the hell do you place that shit? Oh my god, what is this damage? What the crap? It's unplayable, bro. Eclipse is a game mode that adds more difficulty to the hardest difficulty. Eclipse 1 makes, I guess makes, bro, good shit, bro. Like, really cool stuff. This Irelia has so much health, so much damage, kills the whole team. How is that, legal? This thing is gonna drop soon, right? Don't think I can hold it forever.
An ally has been slain.
Let's go.
Has been slain.
I'm gonna pace this shit. No, I don't give a fuck. There you go. Meow. Boom. Meow. Boom. Get. Oh my god. The tower's one hit. One hit. Okay, huge. Good. Good, good, good. Don't go. Oh, we can't fight here. We can't fight it. They're all here. We don't have any info. Yeah, yeah. Mordecai, so if you want, you can take my jungle. I feel like you have much value in this game. Take it, bro. Oh, it's stolen. Alright. I want this.
An ally has been slain.
Bro, no, no.
An enemy has
Okay, nice. Okay. Game seems playable, even though tough. Tough game. We have to kill Irelia, that's for sure. Number one threat. Yeah, it's spawning soon, but we're not gonna get it, bro. We're not gonna get it. I mean, we can try. We can try, but bro, she's 4 levels above. Like, it's not happening, bro. It's really not gonna happen here. Wait, Irelia's here? Bro. Nice. Yeah, I can't kill her. Ah, leave me alone, leave me alone. Haha. Yeah, we ain't getting that shit, bro.
Your inhibitor has been destroyed.
What? Okay, what the fuck? Bro, I don't even exist. Fuck off.
Foundation of empires.
An ally has been slain.
No longer do I hunt alone.
Okay, just don't feed, don't fight. Just... If they die here... What, I have to go back? Oh no. How is she not dying? Bro, how? 4,500 damage from my side! How is this fair? GG's. GG's. But I do want to know who that person was. Ah, Smurf. Ah. Donners. Look at this. Oh man, this is so sad. This game is full of Smurfs, by the way. Can I show this? Yeah, right. Last game here. This is the person who had no name. You click on her. Level 30, brother. No profile, nothing. Oh, so depressing. Alright, GG's. Yeah, definitely. This is exactly what just happened. Dude, and I think this happened 2 times in a row. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. Not today. It's not today. Time to play a game with good matchmaking. Like, for real. This is probably the best game in terms of matchmaking. Even better than Clash of Clans. This is the best game. The and the reason for that is because if you want the only way to play ranked is to reach level 30, and to reach level 30 it takes like 1 week if you play a really much, more like 1 month. It feels good to be live again. And Jay, thank you for that sub, by the way. I didn't say thank you yet. I was super locked in. But yeah, Danas, if you don't, Elden Ring, handshake. Count me in. I just, is there wasn't any problems, right? It just, I think it was just my motivation. That's it. Maybe Billy wants to join up. That'd be cool. Warm up the squad before we get into Valheim, you know. That'd be pretty cool. Oh no. Bad. Yes, sir. And this is what I call good matchmaking. Just fun, no smells. GG. Check that booty, brother. GG's. Crazy. What? I have to say, this was a good match. Come on, be honest. Good match. Wait, chat, what is his gold number? That's new. Oh, Twitch TV respawn duo again, but this time an enemy team. Come on. Oh no. Oh, yeah. Heavy made you play. He's saying that to a fucking pre-mate. Oh, rude. Oh no. Ah. Jay, be honest, did you expect me to go live today? Did you expect this day to be the comeback day? Jay. That goes. Why am I going back? Yeah. Oh mate. Is this bro? Why the hell is love not appreciated? Is this fucking karma or something? Yeah, come on. I really mean it, bro. I really mean it. Like, what the fuck, man? I expect nobody to be in my fucking shit tonight. After 5 months of inactivity. Even Rock you appeared. And this is what I get? Fucking brain lag. Crazy shit, Alter. Very nice. That's in. Okay. Is that in? Oh! Brother, it didn't went in. It's not going in. Keep it up, keep it up. 9! Just unlucky. Well, it's fine. Man. Jeez, mate. Team Brazil. When is the next Saudi Arab match in World Cup? Does anyone know? In 3 days? Against Germany? That's in. Woo! It would be fun if you just said yes. I need to tap here. Jump! Let's see, could he... tough. Tough. Ah! Let's go! Colossal! See! One more. Nice. Yeah, baby! Yoo-hoo! Dribble! Messi! Yo, look at this. Look at this. Oh, beautiful. Good. Really good. There might be an... Oh. Yee. Ooh. Nice. Jay, did you fill the clan cases? I need to know this. Oh shit. Yeah, okay. Is yours filled as well? Or do I have to fill it? Tell me. Somebody fill it, nice. Right. Nice, nice. How does the first enemy look like? Can we fuck them? GG's. Or are we going to lose? Like, crazy town hall difference, or is it fine? Tell me about it. Looks like high level. It's always the same. That's what I'm saying. Clash of Clans matchmaking is absolute dog shit. Absolute dog shit. I want to know what they look at. Like, do they look at trophies or do they look at town hall? They should look at town hall. When making, when building teams for Clan War League or even regular Clan Wars, well, in regular Clan Wars I can understand that, something like that, but Clan War League, bro, come on, look at town halls, not fucking, whatever they're doing right now, like, 3-9. What? Touch it. Ah. Is he safe? Oh no. Hmm. Take it, bro. Take it, take it, take it, take it, take it, take it, take it. Hmm. I can't do shit there, bro. Nein! Er hätte... Mann, Alter! Yo. Pass, mate! Great pass. Crazy pass. Really intentional pass, mate. Team Germany. Come on. We one team, baby. Oh, shit. Can I bomb them? Nah. One more, one more, one more, one more. Ooh, what a pass. That's in. Brother, where the fuck are my grand champion? Where the hell am I grand champion? I'm fucking toast, brother. Fucking wood league. What the fuck, man? What do you mean grand champion? I seriously wanna get out of champion 2. It's so annoying. It's so bad. Like, look at this stuff. I can't do anything. I don't get any help. Was anyone behind me? Not really, but there was. Yeah. Well, look at this. He's standing there with literally 80% boost. What? Yes, sir. Nice team. It's good to have nice teams. I can't really go for that. Whoa! 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 Oh! I don't have it. One more. Oh, you mentioned hit that. Hit it, hit it, hit it. Nice. It's coming down. Whoops. Make it! Oh! No! I have a boner. I have a boner. I mean... Oh. Okay, mind control! Not even mind control, fucking micro. Oh, beautiful. I have to rewatch this. Here, bro. Make it. One more. Boom! Let's go, Alter. Let's go. Let's go grind to Grand Champion, guys. Possible. Possible. We can do it. If we keep getting good mates like right now, come on. The vibe is there, the chemistry works. Everything works. Everything works. Come on. Come on. Yeah, just unlucky. Come on, man. If he touched that, that would have been a goal. It's dangerous now. What? Yes, sir! That was bad. That was really bad. I'm going for it. Nine. Okay. Good. I need boost. Is that in? That's not in. Is he? Bro. Take it. Take it again. Take it again. Take it again. I'm in danger. I'm in danger. I'm in danger. Help me. Help me. I'm in danger. Pass in the mid. That might be in. Is anyone here? Oh my god. Take it. I'm going back. Oh, I love to see this, bro. I love to see this. Oh. Good fucking match. 4 minutes overtime. These are good matches. Crazy shit, man. Alright, let's open the chest we got. Let's see what we get. Where's the inventory? Let's open some chests. We have 11 spot drops. Cool. 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 Shit. Oh my god, fucking calculator banner. What the fuck are you giving me here? Alright, next up we have special drops. Music. Animated. Animated. Rainbow. Car. Ooh, this looks cool. That looks actually cool. What's import drop? Ooh, a car. Breakout type S. And imported rocket boost comet. Wow, both shit. Let's see about this. Yeah, very nice. Ooh. Huge. And now the final moment. Which exotic item do we get? That comes straight out of Valheim. Like, quite literally. Fucking creeper. Yeah, alright. I'm gonna I'm gonna stick to this car. Wow. What? Good, 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 brother. Bonus, bonus, bonus. Bonus, bonus, bonus. Alright, we have RRTM and Magic. Team England, Netherlands. 3 countries in one team. Let's see how this goes. Going well so far. Jay, you still there? Boom! Watch this. It's okay, mate. It's okay. Can win. Can win. Whoops. What? Woohoo! Lol. Lol? Wait a second. Did I just bump him? I made him panic, I think. Is he taking it? Yo, Jay, did you see the new global chat in Clash of Clans? Oh my god, bro. It's not the same thing as in the past, but you can like make groups and stuff. And if you know the YouTuber Sloth, bro, his group in one day over 50,000 members. That chat is this is historical, by the way. The last time there was a global chat in Clash of Clans was like 10 years ago or some shit like that. It's really historical. And people seem to really enjoy that. I love that. It's like it's pretty much the same feeling. It's just that it's private groups pretty much, but still. It's like 100,000 members. One click away to join that. It's really good invention. They should keep coming with those good updates. Rats. I'm gonna go to the bathroom. It's really, really cool. It's super cool. I might have shat myself there. If you want to join it, it's called maxylike daylike, something like that. Maxylike / daylike. Try to join it. And tell me if you find it when I'm back. Oh, you actually did join it. Nice. Wait 1 second. Oh no. Esports mode, that's new. Interesting. Bro, I love Clash of Clans, man. It's so fun having a clan. It's fun, man. And we're doing pretty well. Like, look at this. Okay, we're doing shit in Clan War League. Okay, fine. But the matchmaking there is absolute dog shit. But look at this. Crazy shit, no? It's like, what's the win rate? Like 2.0, wait, 80%, something like that? Crazy shit. Only one draw. This is extremely tough, though. When you're not a competitive clan with, like, literally leaving people out that suck, when you're that type of clan, it would be much better. But since we're a complete fair play, I'll let everybody join. I would, trust me or not, I would let somebody join that's Town Hall 7. I don't give a fuck. Any of the day, it's just for fun. But look at this. Let me see. Is this Saudi Arabia? Let me do my attack on stream. Yeah, 1 second. So, wait. Oh, I'm not. I'm not on day 1. Why am I on day 1? We got 2 stars already. GA with the clutch. Toni Kroos. What the fuck? Luka Modric. Whole soccer team here. Let me take a look at them. This is not really winnable. Unless they're rushed. Ah, tough. What about day 2? Winnable? Fair? Big Wizard? Ooh, absolutely winnable. I should say fair. Fair matchmaking there. Complete dog shit matchmaking here. We're not gonna get this day. Sacrifices. Yeah, absolute dog shit. Wow, I really love it. Turk. Absolute dog shit. Crazy shit. Let's take a look at them. Yeah, it's gonna be tough. It's like 40, let's say 50-50. 50-50 that we get second place here. Third or fourth, highly likable because we're actually pretty good. Yeah, you have to remember, we have so many low town halls. We're probably one of the worst clans. Maybe even the worst clan in terms of town halls here. But we're still doing good. We are like Smurfs pretty much. And now what I want to show you is, like, look at this for example. Absolute madness. Non-stop chatting. This is like since the last update. This is so cool, bro. This guy literally has 50,000 members. This is not even the limit. Wait, this is the limit. 50,000. That's absolutely crazy. Wait, guys, let's not let global get removed again. What did he write there? Nightmare. Go out of your room and find girls. The people are using this as a dating platform, right? Yeah. Yeah, actually. Like, right, literally. Other kids. Yeah, what is this? Need people for clan wars. Yeah. This is. I remember when other game I played, people really like to use Google as a dating platform. It's actually entertaining. I wonder how they're going to regulate this. Clash UK. Window liquor. What? Sorry, what does that mean? It sounds funny. Window liquor, what the fuck? Use code MOS. That's his name? What the hell, bro? Is that some big guy? I mean, we're not doing that bad. What's your town hall level? Is this 18? We're pretty good. I remember when I first started, we were like all... You can see how we all together level up. And it's just really cool. Like, I remember Code Zach being this town hall. Like, it's super cool to grow together, basically. It's really cool. 2 weeks is tough. Yeah, I'm looking forward for the Clan War League. I hope we can have lots of success there. I'm aiming to get first place, as always. Oh yeah. Jay, you wanna do your attack? Do your attack, I wanna see it. You have... Actually, you can analyze the enemy. I'm gonna do one game, and after the game, you do your attack. No. After the game. After the game, you do attack. After this. Yeah. Yeah, I fucked up. Sorry, mate. Nah, it's not even your bad. That's my guy right there. Joe, you have 5 minutes, by the way. I wanna get some Clash of Clans content. If you want, you can do it tomorrow. Wait, no, I'm not live tomorrow. That doesn't make sense. Like around the time. Why do you wanna wait, Jay? Are you scared? What the? Jay? Are you sure you don't want to do it? No pressure, just a live stream. I will do my attack as well on stream. I'm good. You posting that emote is kind of funny. I'm not gonna lie. That emote is so fitting. I can't. What the hell are you doing, mate? Jay, do you see the emote you just posted? Do you see that? No? Oh my god, bro! Get 7TV! What the hell? Download 7TV right fucking now. I cannot believe my eyes. Why are you not rotating, mate? Oh. I have no boost, bro. No. He shouldn't take that shot. Definitely not. Oh no. Oh my god, we are absolutely lucky. We are absolutely lucky, mate. Yeah, good. Did you do not 70 VJ? There's no way you don't have it. You make me angry right now. I'm really angry. I'm really angry. Really ooga booga angry. Where's the follow-up, mate? Ah, GG's. Grrr. Man. Jay, answer. I don't want to talk to a wall here. What the fuck is this happening to me? Download 7 TV! Download 7 TV! Download 7 TV so you can see the emotes we're posting here. That'd be quite nice. Oops, sorry. Lol. It's on extension. Take it, take it. Oh my god, mate, lock the fucking mate. I'm trying to get to esports, brother. I wanna make money with this shit. Nice. One more. Yeah. Make it, make it, make it, make it, make it. Oh no. Double commit into goal. Sad. Double commit right here. Hmm. Mm-hmm. Bro, lock the fuck in, man. Where was my intention, but... I mean... don't overthink the one emote right now, Jay. Really funny. I need you to download 7TV though. So you can actually see them. And understand what is going on and makes you like chat. You did? Okay, nice. Okay. That's kind of you, mate. But oh shit, I'm thinking about making edited videos again of my live streams and post that on YouTube. Like back in days, like Valheim Let's Play Episode 1, all that stuff. So yeah, make sure to check out my YouTube channel. It's happening soon. Okay. That's not in, that's not in, that's not in, that's not in, that's not in. Why is nobody... Oh my god, bro. Come on, save this. Why do I have to carry, bro? Why do I have to carry every single game? Man. Yeah, no way, bro. Jeez. Whoa. Nice shot. Hmm. Let's fucking go! Yeah, I'm thinking about. Going back, rotate faster. What? Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, it's just crazy how we throw this game. Ah, bro. A close one. That's a good one. I'm gonna give you that one. Jeez. Take it, bro. Take it, bro. Take it, bro. Take it, bro. Oh my fucking goodness, bro. Body. Body, what just happened? Pretty safe, mate. Oh, this guy is so sick. Oh, we can't win. Can't win. Can't win. Bro, what? Nice. Wow, clean pass though. Clean pass. Why is he not going, mate? Why is he not going? Oh man, this is bad. This is actually bad. If you don't rotate and play passive, it's actually bad because that's not how Rocket League works. You're kinda disrupting the flow. Rotating is extremely important, and if you don't, you disrupt the flow. And then shit like this happens at the end. Yeah, the things he's doing is really bad for us. It's really bad. Nice shot. Jay, have you been training Rocket League? I don't think so, right? We in the last fucking months we are like in Discord call until late night, right? So I don't really expect a yes right now. Oh my god. Ah, one more hit. Oh no. Take it, take it, take it, take it, Slin! Yes, to take it, yes, to take it! Oh shit, it's bad. Actually? Okay, let's do the boost, let's do the boost. They have -1 boost. Huge. Wow, huge pass. Yeah. We're kinda stuck at home. We are kinda stuck. Take it, bro. What are you waiting for? Whoops. What are they waiting for, man? They're waiting for a miracle to happen. It ain't gonna happen. Man. Ah, shit. I'm gonna push this. Is it going in? Holy shit. No boost. Woohoo! Oh no! Disgusting game. Disgusting game. Oh my god, free goal. Oh no. Oh no! I don't have it. I don't have it. Crazy shit. Well, disgusting game. Crazy fun though. Holy shit. Ah. Sad ending there. Holy shit, overtime is so adrenaline. Pure adrenaline game. Nine, the same mate again! Are you kidding me? The guy I literally blocked! Oh, I hate this. I hate this game, man. Why is it being so evil? What is this shit? Oh my god, I'm so useless. Let me go back. Let me go back. Nine! Woohoo! Never. What a fucking pass. Oh no. Nice. Wow. Woo. Oh my god. Ah. Oh, sorry. Ah, I suck. Ah. There we fucking go. XD. Bro, fuck off. Thanks. I like this guy. Oh, wait, what? Okay. Good miss, good miss. Good miss. Ooh la la. No, 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 no. Oh no. Bro, can you help me? Hello, hello. Fake. I don't have it. One nice shot. Your activity check, type in 38 if you are a human being and if you are watching my live stream. No humans in chat. Only aliens. Well. That was a good one, bro. I gotta say that. That was good. That was fast. How are you doing, Jay? What are you doing? I bet you're not just watching my boring ass Rocket League gameplay. Like, who on earth would watch that? Jeez. What a save. That little tickle at the end. My man. What is this fucking long hair in the front? What is this? You're just chilling? No way you're just chilling. You're not. Like... You gotta do something. There's no way you're just watching. I can't take that. I'm alone. Ah. Let's go! Let's go! Protect the goal! Protect the fucking goal, man! Protect the goal. Do goalkeeper. Touch the ball! Oh no, oh no. Brother, wake the fuck up, man! How are you not touching that ball? How are you not touching this? What is this? Well, reaction time fucking, I don't know what. Bro, this is esports! This is esports! You gotta log in! 100,000 bucks on the line, bro. You can't play like this. That's not acceptable, man. Well, this is really dangerous because I have no boost. Okay. Man. Follow up, follow up, follow up. Very important. Follow up. I can't follow up. I'm alone at home if nobody's rotating. Nice, jeez. Wait, Thanos is live? What is he doing? Ah, he went live like an hour ago. What is he doing? This is what I'm talking about. I love it when my friends stream on Twitch. It's so fun. You see each other grow, you see each other have fun. You do this, you do that together. It is the best. Anyone who does fucking Twitch streams, I tell you, everybody knows that feeling. It's just amazing. It's just amazing. My one dream is to connect with more people on Twitch, and then we can like do crazy stuff. I want to do some streamer events, everything. Sadly, I don't really know anyone. That's kind of sad. You get me, Jay? Lol. No rotation there. The guy went in front in this danger. Crazy. And the guy who fucked up the save is saying, okay, absolute madness. What is he doing? Okay, I have to carry this game. I have to carry it quite literally. Why is he AFK? Why is he FFing? No problem. This guy. Crazy shit. Haha. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, 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 ooh. Oops. Tschüss.
What's that game for?
Yo, shit, I'm at $20 with Twitch right now. This is... it's not the highest I ever been. On my old channel, I did get one payout of $50. So once I hit $50, anything above that, anything that comes after, it's gonna be my high score. This is the time. I'm taking Twitch way more serious. And you can tell. Yo, one question, Jay, are you still there? I need to know if you do you know how to edit videos, because I'm looking for an editor that can edit some of my live streams into edited videos. Like highlights, pretty much. So basically, Valheim, 3-hour playthrough. You turn that into a okay, double commit. Oh my god, he success. So what I'm talking about is like, do really simple cuts, right? For example, when I say I'm going to build this, you cut straight to the moment where I'm building it, or like straight to the moment where I'm chopping wood to get materials for that. Like the raw, not really raw, like the important stuff, if you get what I mean. Brother. Do you get what I mean? Like everything that's like canon basically, you know? I suck for not going for that. That was my bad. So can you do that? I remember Liar's doing that in the past. But since he's streaming himself right now and trying to build a community, get into the content creation, get into content creation. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna ask him. He has his own shit to do. What? Nice. Thanks, mate. Don't think I can. Do you have? You don't have any experience, right? No, 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 no. Easy save. Brother's not rotating for some reason. Hmm. Nice. Jay, do you want to start Twitch? Isn't that something of your dreams? You and I could make history. Crazy shit that he's not saving that. Wait, could he save that? Let me see. I bumped him accidentally, but shouldn't be too bad. Yeah, she should be able to save that. It's okay. We can still win. 3 goals is not really... It's not really that much. There's number 1. I mean, here's number 1. Thanks. Good save. Like your own one, like build a community, host projects, make events, bring people together, shit like that. You know? I actually have so much experience, it's actually crazy if you think about it. How much fucking experience I have. Been doing this shit for so long now. I like how I've been doing this shit for so long, yet I didn't really achieve anything. I like materialistic, I achieved nothing, but the other thing I achieved a lot. I brought so many people together, like probably thousands of people to be honest. It's actually crazy if you think about it. Like Gral Era and the Minecraft server Yeah, definitely thousands of people. Thousands. I literally brought them together. They became friends through me. And here I am, 0 viewers. It's crazy. Well, I did a huge mistake by deleting my my old YouTube channel, my old Twitch channel. I just have that fucking mental problem of I need to get rid of stuff that I'm not actively working on. It's stupid as fuck, and a KMS for that. But yeah. It's just fucking annoying to have that problem. Like, I just delete shit that I'm... Well, I used to. I'm probably still do it. And there's nothing really to delete because I'm working on everything. But the thing is, I tend to delete shit that I'm not working on. YouTube channel, Galera, everything. My old TikTok, my old Instagram, literally everything that has to do with social media. Which is a huge mistake. Because Imagine did not delete any of my Galera shit. I had no drama or anything. I was just bored of doing content and I quit like that. And then I deleted it. Literally no reason. No reason. Okay? No reason. Literally no reason to do that. I just did it. And Imagine I did not. There would probably still be hundreds of people watching my shit there because nostalgic and all that shit. But yeah. Look at that fucking pass. Actually a crazy pass. But yeah. That's what I want to say, Jay. Like, imagine if I did not delete my old YouTube channel, my old Twitch channel, like nothing. I'm assuming, and I'm actually pretty sure, I would have around 100 plus viewers right now. And it's so depressing to think about it. Like, my old Twitch had around 20 plus. I did fun content, 1000 plus followers. Galera times, Minecraft server times, after that even still. And then I just decided to delete it for some reason. I think it was depression. Maybe it was depression. I don't know. Maybe it's just depression to get rid of stuff that I'm bored of. And yeah, shit that bothers me. Yes, it started to bother me making YouTube videos because it became a job and it wasn't really fun anymore. But other than that, shit that bothers me, I just tend to get rid of it. And it's a huge mistake. Because I'm just losing everything by doing that. So yeah. Nah, it was a huge mistake in my content creation career and I really regret it actually. I really regret it. Now I'm sitting here with 0 viewers, literally my friend in my chat. It is really frustrating if I think about it. Because it was always my dream to create and maybe make it my job or anything like that. I mean, I've been literally doing it since 2014. And I see people starting YouTube with like, 2020 or some shit and blowing up. I mean, yes, it's a lot of luck. It's just really depressing to think about it. So yeah. Gotta accept the fact that it's probably not gonna happen. Maybe in the future, right? Like, I'm never gonna say no. But, maybe in the future, like, as a side thing, Twitch, maybe I blow up one day. Who knows, if I keep working hard. And yeah. Basically. I can just imagine how many opportunities there will be if I have many connections, many viewers, many followers. I would be the craziest content creator. Trust me or not, I would do so many events. And in a German mainstream, people do events after events, the big guys. And I would do the exact same because I love to create shit. But sadly, I don't have the opportunity to do that. I can just do fun shit with my friends. Nah, Jay, like, I'm not trying to rant or anything. I mean, it's my own decision, my own actions that have led to this. It's really, it's just sad. It's just sad. I remember the moments, it was fun and shit, but the ending is sad. The ending of this is quite sad. And that's just frustrating. Like, thinking about it. Thinking about all the fucking fan art I got. It's just crazy. Hundreds of people on our Discord server. The deeper I dig into this topic, the more sad and disappointing it gets. It's crazy, actually. Like the timeline isn't really broken. It's just the ending. You know? Let's fucking go. Literally no reaction time there. Like, what am I saying? Like, the timeline is there, but at the end of every book, it was a sad ending. And all the sad endings, they accumulate to having 0 viewers. And literally, yeah. You know. It's just, it's really bad. It's really bad. But at least I can be happy that I actually brought people together, made people laugh, and all that shit. And at the end, I get nothing. But I get the moments, right? I get the moments, I get the leadership. All that shit, right? Like, that's what I'm saying, Jay. And that's what really bothers me day to day, and that's actually also one of the reasons why I tend to just quit Twitch. The mostly won't get it, but if you are in my soul, if you would live my life, I'm pretty sure you will get it then. It's actually quite dramatic. It's really dramatic. My history in social media is extremely dramatic. And not really negatively. I never did anything. Just my own decisions were really bad. And to this day, I don't know why I did it. I was young, I guess. I was like, oh, let me delete this shit. Because nowadays, if I still had all that shit, I could do so much out of it. So much. So much. I'm basically SNK at this point. I'm literally SNK at this point. I'm not even lying about it. It could have led to so many cool shit. Alright. I'm still gonna try. I got all the events I'm still hosting with the people. I don't really think I'm gonna grow that because they don't stream and they don't really take it that serious. But what I do know is that Those shots are crazy. That's tough. I do know that if I work hard, if I keep going, maybe really stream regularly and do unique content, niche content, then I definitely see that I can grow. But I gotta keep at it, right? That's the thing. You okay, Jay? I don't want to bring the mood down, but it's really sad because in the back of my head, I will always have this feeling that I had it so well and I just fucked it up. I will ever have this feeling. Like, Jay, what do you have to say about that? I don't know how to cope with that. It's really hard to cope. Imagine you are a millionaire and you spend all your money and you have nothing. I don't know. And yes, I'm actually comparing that because it's really deep. The thing is, I don't fucking care about the money or anything. It's just, you know, being able to have the people around you and, it's really crazy. But let's get over with this depressing. It's really depressing. Very depressing. I'm on a Koyume. Why do I have to carry this fucking game, man? Auto saves are fucking legendary. Nice shot, that's crazy. That's a good shot. Alright, I'm fucking locked in actually. FF. Crazy. Oh man. But this is this thing, right, Jay? Like, do you get me? Like, yes, I'm actually comparing it to being a millionaire and losing all your money. It's probably the same feeling. It's the same feeling. Like, I'm talking about the feeling, not about the action. And it's pretty much the same feeling. Well, obviously, it literally came as if the millionaire thing happened. But this is still really deep. It's like a life feeling. A life decision. Jeez. What do you have to say about that, Jay? I need something. Like, I need tips on how to cope with that shit because it's really annoying. I guess just focus on what I have and... I mean... I don't know why my brain then thinks about shit like that if I can't change it, right? Maybe I can somehow, I don't know. Man, save it! Why is nobody in goal? Why is nobody in goal? What am I playing with? And you can't move forward if you're focusing on the pass. Well, that's the thing, right? And at the end of the day, that's right. But it's one of those things that I'm probably never gonna forget. It just stuck. Like, whenever I have something that triggers it, like producing any content and then seeing my numbers and see 0 at it, I'm always gonna think about it. Things have to get better or else it's always gonna be the same, right? Just lock the fuck in, I guess. Lock the fuck in, keep going, keep posting events. Probably some community events as well because that really pushes everything at the end of the day. And yeah. Oh no. I'm so bad. What am I doing? What am I doing? Alright, let's look in. Let's look in. Hold on, let's look in. So what do I do now, Jay? I need like a plan on action. Like an action plan. I mean, I don't really have anything here. Water. Alright. For this guy. Mm. Okay, we have to push now. Play aggressive. Oh my god. What? Ah, jeez. Alright, chat. I think I'm gonna go.